All right. Welcome. Welcome. We back again, once again, time and time again, my friends. And yes, it is Monday, December the 5th, and you know what time it is. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be having this live stream. And all we're really doing is looking at the direction the market may be heading over the next few days, just getting a general idea of where and what the market is doing. So be sure to subscribe, turn the post notifications on. That way you do get notified anytime I do go live. You'll get that little banner at the top or whenever I post educational content here on this channel. So what we always do is start out XAU USD on the monthly has been pushing to the upside. There is an area right in here that the market is likely to come to. On the weekly, we do have the market impulsing and retracing, impulse, retrace, just continuing the market trend on its way to the upside from the weekly. And on the daily, we do have a nice and easy W formation, a pattern that completes 80 to 90% of the time, retesting the neckline, coming down in here. If we do get a nice and easy retracement and the correction starting to form some sort and showing to lose momentum, we start to see the impulse or the start of the impulse to the upside. We could then look for that for TMCP to the upside. XAG USD monthly time frame on the monthly pushing to the upside as well. Just now rejected, which is the start of the retracement, exactly as we like to see. So we are in the retracement phase on the weekly. On the daily, we are correcting to the downside with another W formation that is likely to complete down at the neckline. After we do get that, if we do have some sort of slow momentum of the retracement, the impulse starting to form, we could then look for TMCP to the upside. On the monthly time frame of XBT USD, we do have the impulse to the upside starting the retracement. On the weekly, we can see we did have a fail attempt in an impulse correction, impulse pattern, but we got rejected at the highs. We are starting the retracement now. On the weekly and on the daily, you can see we just completed W formation, a pattern that does complete 80 to 90% of the time. You want to see the completion at the neckline, pattern complete. If you do start to see some sort of slow momentum right around this area and the impulse starting to start, we could look for TMCP to the upside. Look at US oil on the monthly time frame. On the monthly, pushing to the downside, previous resistance now broken to the downside, acting as resistance once again. On the weekly, you can see we did have the retest, move to the downside, retest previous structure was support, now acted as resistance, pushing to the downside on the weekly. And then on the daily, you can see we are starting to make moves to the downside after getting rejected of this area in a little more detail. You can see this push to the downside where it is likely to push and continue. Only then and after then, if the retracement comes and provides a setup, can we look for continuation to the downside. Euro USD monthly time frame, pushing to the upside. On the weekly, starting the retracement right at previous structures, what was support that should act as resistance. Could expect more continuation to the downside. On the daily, we have previous structure right in this area that is likely to be retested. Previous structure resistance now acting as support. After we get a nice and easy retracement, and only then could we look for a move to the upside for TMCP out of this area. GBP USD on the monthly time frame, pushing to the upside. On the weekly, starting the retracement. Quite overextended, but we do have an area right in here that could act as previous structure. Likely to get retested. Be a little more exact, could be right around this area. Gonna move to the downside for a continuation to the upside. And if we do look at the daily time frame, you can see we are starting to retest previous structure. The market does come down in this area, starts to provide a setup, could look for the continuation to the upside. The TMCP on GBP USD. On the monthly of AUD USD, retesting previous structure support, now acting as resistance. On the weekly, pushing to the downside, and on the daily, pushing to the downside, riding along this trend line. Depending on the reaction, if we do get more continuation to the downside, could expect a retracement back in this area for more continuation, and then vice versa. If we do get a break above this area, could possibly look for more continuation out of this with the TMCP to either side. Now, we did have USD CAD. Been speaking about USD CAD for a while. Extremely bullish. Came back for the retracement. Now continuing move to the upside. TMCP, most common pattern in the market. If we look at the weekly, on the weekly you can see a little more detail. Pushing to the upside, we did have the candle that we want to see the next ones fill in the wick right around this area. And then if we drop to the daily time frame, you can see this market is continuing to keep up with the trend, creating higher highs, higher lows, looking to attempt to make a higher high on its way now. After this extension to the upside, if it does provide some sort of retracement, could then look for more continuation to the upside, maybe in some sort of head and shoulders pattern right around in this area. NZD USD on the monthly time frame, pushing to the upside, broke above previous structure support, should act as support once again. Starting the retracement on the weekly. Possible areas it could come into: left shoulder, head, right shoulder, right around in this area. From there, if we do look at the daily time frame, you can see we do have previous structure resistance, should act as support. From there, we could see possible rejections and more continuation to the upside on this market. TMCP to the upside for the win. USD CHF monthly time frame pushing to the downside, but retesting previous structure support, should act as support once again. On the weekly, looks as if we want to start a retracement of this move to the downside. On the daily, you can see we are rejecting these lows. Previous structure support should act as support once again. If we do get some sort of break above some structures, then we could look for more continuation on this market. USD JPY monthly time frame, really coming into previous structure resistance, should act as support. On the weekly, found a bottom, actually completed, nice and easy. Impulse to the downside, retracement, continuation, move to the downside. Starting the retracement on the weekly, on the daily, starting to make moves to the upside. We would still need to see these levels right in here broken to the upside before looking for possible moves, as that would be above daily structure. But more than likely coming to this area for more continuation to the downside, looking for a nice TMCP setup. Now we can slide over to BTC USD on the monthly time frame. On the monthly, coming into previous structure resistance that can now act as support. On the weekly, made a move to the downside. We'll still need to see the market break above some weekly structure, or at least come retest some weekly structure, but we are starting the retracement, which means this market is currently sitting in a consolidation phase on the daily time frame. So we are looking to still probably break out, come retest some of these areas in here for more continuation to the downside, just to continue the trend. But if we do start to break above some of these areas, could possibly look for longs, which, you know, the next halving event isn't until 2024. So then, and probably only then, since this was the last time we had the halving event, this market has made a move to the upside, exploded, started the retracement phase, find some support right around in this area, maybe dip a little lower, break out, then make moves to the upside. 2024, explode. But as far as the daily time frame, nothing too interesting. And that's it. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Monday. We just chilling, cooling. Any questions? Ain't no questions. I'm gonna slide up out of here. I hope everyone is having a profitable day on and off the charts. And until next time.